Okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. A very good afternoon, everybody. So today is our first lesson about the car air conditioning system, right? So when the car arrive, okay, for a service or for a repair, we as the aircon expert or aircon technician will first to determine the condition of the car air conditioning system, whether it's running well, it's normal, or something wrong with the system. So the first one is through observation, right? Observation, right? So when the car arrives, make sure the car parked properly, right? Then we move to the car, okay? Just through visual observation, you can first determine how is the system like of the system. Any car, right? It's a saloon, it's a SUV, MPV, it doesn't matter. First thing is through observation, try to understand the system first. The basic principle of the aircon. Where is the location of the component? For example, the first one, we look to the front here. When you open up the bonnet, the front bonnet, okay, we can see it is the engine all around here. Any car, it's either Continental or either it's a Japanese car, alright? Don't worry about that. Okay? So the first thing is to look at the condition of the aircon system. The first one, if you look down here, right? This is where the condenser is located, okay? And you can see the condition of the condenser, right? There's a brittle brick light here, but there's no dirt, right? There's no dirt. This is there. The first one that we look. Second thing is to determine where is the location of the compressor, right? The location of compressor, like for example, this is an example of a 3-liter engine, a diesel engine, an SUV, a Toyota SUV 3-liter engine. You can see the engine is straight like this, right? So meaning that when the engine is located straight like this, meaning this is a rear wheel drive, right? If it cross like this, right, and then it will be a front wheel drive. So normally an SUV, right, SUV 4x4 is rear wheel drive. Okay, so when rear wheel drive, all right, the first thing to determine where is the pulley. The main pulley will be at the front. So at the front of the engine, right? So the compressor can either be on the left or on the right. Okay, you just look at the right here, right? You can see compressor or not. There's no compressor there, then it must be here. Okay, that is the first thing. Okay, second thing, right, is to determine, right, the line of this system. Okay, so it's crumble light, you don't worry about that. If you have a torchlight, you just see first, observe first where is the line, right? Now you can see the compressor is here, right? Right, the compressor here. So you just observe the line going out from the compressor will normally goes to the condenser, right? Number one. So the circuit, the basic principle, going out the compressor, going to the condenser, right? Out of the condenser, right? Out of the condenser, you can look at out of the condenser. You can see above here. This is out of the condenser, right? Out of the condenser, right? Yeah, down here, right? Down here, out of the condenser, right? It will goes to a service path line. Right, a service bus line, then this is the liquid line, and this liquid line will go back to the expansion valve, then goes to the cooling coil, right? The basic line, right? You must observe the line first. Okay, second thing you have to observe is the line going into the car compartment, right? So this is a SUV, a turbo car, right? This is a turbo, right? There are two lines here, right? You observe where is the aircon line, right? Okay. This is the aircon line, yeah. This is going to the compressor, and the other one is out of the compressor going to the condenser. Alright, we cannot see clearly, but you have to understand. And if you can observe here, right? There's a line here going inside the system. There are two lines here, right? So the one that goes in will be the liquid line going to the cooling coil, out of the cooling coil, out from the compartment and goes to the condenser. Alright, you observe by first observation whether the system is okay or not, you just look thoroughly the position and the aircon, okay? And then you look there. And then the second thing is to look at the inside compartment of the car, right? Whether it's dirty or not under the glove box. Okay, let's go to and have a look at the compartment here. Okay. Okay. So this is the glove box, right? You just have a look. This is the blower motor, and for this system, right? For this system, if you look, the cooling coil is located somewhere around here in the center. Meaning that if you do a major service, you have to open up everything here. You open up the dashboard, everything, put down the steering, the radio out, then only you can take out the cooling coil. Right. For now, we just want to know how is the system work, whether it's normal or something wrong with the system. So second thing, right? You already discover basically the condition, right? Not to say very good, not to say bad, right? You can see something, the condenser is not really very good, like a normal condenser, and I from my observation, there's no identical leak. Okay, when you see a leak, look at the line whether there's any leak, something like oil accumulation, dirt accumulation around the connection. Okay, now that is the true observation, right? Just thoroughly look and understand the system. Okay. The second thing is that we have to start. Okay, we have to start the engine and on the aircon system, right? So before we start, okay, sometimes this is a new car, maybe we don't understand this. Try to understand where is the switch, where is the aircon switch, right? For example, this system, right? Okay, you can go here, understand the system first. Okay, whether it's a climatic or a conventional. Okay, so to know whether it's climatic or conventional, you on the switch first. Okay, I will take the key first. 1 second. Okay, now to understand whether it's a climatic system or a conventional system, what you do, okay, make sure the car is in a parking mode and brake is on, right? You just on the switch, all right? On the switch, try to understand the system. Okay, okay, you can see the panel here. There's an auto here, right? Sorry. Okay, there's an auto here, right? There's a fan off here. This is the airflow, all right? So by looking at this, I can conclude that this system is a climatic system, right? It's a climatic system, all right? Okay, now what we do, we try to start the engine, make sure it's in a parking mode and brake is on, all right? And nobody in the front of the car for your safety, then only you start the engine. Okay, you start the engine, observe the switch. You put in an auto mode, right? Auto mode, okay? Okay, all right. So it is in a digital form, the temperature, right? Meaning this is a climatic system. Okay, what you do, right? In order to determine the system functionality, right? You just on the auto mode, and then let the aircon run first. There's no air. With automatic, it's not air here, right? Okay, so we try to put the highest. Okay, put the temperature switch at the highest point. Okay, right? Put the highest point and try to the temperature level the lowest. Normally, for a climatic, the lowest is normally 16 maximum cold. Okay, when you look here, maximum cold. Normally for climatic system, the lowest will be 16. 16, or they put a maximum cool, right? So let it run, okay, and feed the air here. Okay, we feed the air. Okay, there's the air, a cold air coming out. Okay, touch with your hand at the air outlet, you can feel a cold air here, right? The cold air. Okay, this aircon is functioning. Okay, maybe the customer is require a service or want us to check the condition of the system. Now we already started the system. Okay, there's a cold air here, okay, coming out, and the fan speed seems to be really okay. Okay, all right. Okay, that is the first thing. First thing, through observation, we don't do anything, just observe. Right, that is the first thing that we have to do. Okay, then we out of the system. All right. So now we know that the system, right? This is a climatic system, air conditioning system, and it is running. There's a cold air coming out. The blower seems to be okay, but we haven't determined how is that is the visual outside condition of the system. Now to determine what happened inside the system. In order to determine the second thing, to determine what happened inside the system. When I say what happened inside the system, meaning that how is the condition of the refrigerant inside the system. And then we have to look through pressure. So in order to determine inside the system, we have to use the manifold gauges. We have to connect the manifold gauges to the system. Okay, we don't start engine, you hold the key. Okay, the first thing to do inside the system is to connect the manifold gauge to the system. Okay, so I conclude with our first lesson just now, right? When the car comes, the first thing to do is through observation. You just observe, understand the system, look where is the location of the system, right? Just roughly, then okay, you understand. Oh, by looking, I already know that the compressor is somewhere around here, and I can see some. This is the service valve. Service valve. There are service valve. There are two service valve, right? One at the liquid line, right? One at the suction line. Suction line meaning the hose coming out from the evaporator going to the compressor. There's one service valve. That is a low side, and the high side was something located near the condenser. So this should be the high side. Okay, that is the basic principle. Okay, the first one just now, just thoroughly that what we do, we just look around, right? Understand the system, then we start the engine. Whether the aircon is working or not. Yes, for this car, for example, we determine that the aircon system is running. There's a cold air coming out. The blower is working, but we don't know what actually happened inside the system. Right? That will be the second part of the lesson. Meaning the second part of the action to be taken. But for example, normally, right? When the customer send the car for aircon check, we just check thoroughly something like this first. Okay, through observation, it's running. Whether it's running good or not, then we have to use some instrument and tools. The first is the manifold gauge. The second is the thermometer to measure the temperature of the current situation of the aircon system. Okay, so we stop for the first lesson, observation. Okay, stop the video.